Okay, good morning. The time is 9:26, and I am calling this meeting to order. Good morning. My name is Jessica Brandt with the Office of Planning and Environmental Review. I will be serving as today's hearing officer for the Zoning Administrator hearing for April 15th, 2020. Stephanie Townsend will be serving as our ZA Secretary and Timekeeper. The hearing is being recorded, and I do have a special announcement to read. In compliance with the directives of the state, county, and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, and pursuant to the guidelines for social distancing, this meeting is closed to the public. Members of the public may watch and/or listen to the meeting by way of three options. Please visit the Zoning Administration webpage for login information. Public comments can be submitted by sending an email to boardclerk@saccounty.net. Your comments will be accepted until an item has been voted upon, and they will become part of the record for the item. As a few housekeeping notes before we get moving on hearing items, we do have both staff and presenters remote for this meeting. Everyone, please remain muted unless you are speaking. Requests for speaking may come through our chat function through this process. So if you do feel like you need to say something, please shoot a message through there and someone can hear it. So at this time, I believe Stephanie, time to swear in, so go for it.
Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give this administrator is the truth, so help you God? If you do not swear, do you affirm?
I do. Brian Holloway.
Yeah.
This is Brian Holloway. There's no sound any longer.
Hey Brian, it's Belect. I think they're just setting up the PowerPoint right now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, like as I'd mentioned, some things will move a little slower as we work through the technology here. So give us a couple of minutes, and I believe everything is queued up now. Black, feel free to get started.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Black Batar, and I'll be presenting for this project. This is the Tuong Quang Temple, PLNP 2016-00457. Moving on to slide number 2. The project is located at 7539 Power Inn Road, north of the Power Inn Road/Gerber Road intersection in the South Sacramento community. The subject parcel is approximately 1.75 acres and is zoned for RD20. To its north and south, you'll see that there are multifamily zoned properties as well that are zoned RD20 and RD25. To its east and west are single-family RD5 properties. The project site itself is already developed with an existing worship building, covered patio walkway, and residence building. There are 2 power line towers located on the southwest portion of the property. Moving on to slide number 3. The request before you is for the following. 1. A use permit to legalize a religious institution in the RD20 zone. 2. A special development permit to deviate from zoning code standards related to fence height, landscape setback, and yard setback requirements. You'll see these deviations listed in the slide before you. And number 3, a minor use permit to allow the use of barbed wire on the property. There's existing barbed wire on the property that was meant to deter trespassing, and the applicant had expressed that there was trespassing due to the site's prior condition and vacancy. As a note, there was a building permit issued on the property. However, it was issued as a residential building permit for all of the existing structures. And since the primary use of the site is changing, it is now subject to a different set of setback requirements that are applicable to an institutional use rather than a residential use. And that is why some of these setback requirements are requested to be deviated from, as well as the fact that there are power line towers on the southwest portion of the property that impedes some areas that can be developed. Finally, a design review is also being requested to comply with the countywide design guidelines. Moving on to slide number 4. Here we see the existing buildings. The photo to the left shows the worship building with a covered walkway to the residence. And the photo to the right shows the storage building, as well as some new landscape that is being placed. Moving on to slide number 5. Here we just have a couple of photos of the existing barbed wire. Moving on to slide number 6. Here we have the site plan showing the existing structures as well as the newly proposed driveway setup and paved parking stalls. There is currently a 2 driveway setup on the property, and the applicant has worked with the Department of Transportation to redesign it to a single driveway layout, thus allowing for a wider driveway entry and exit point. Moving on to slide number 7. Here we just have a closer view of the site plan. Moving on to slide number 8. Here we have the landscape plan showing some of the new trees that are being proposed to meet parking lot shading requirements. Moving on to slide number 9. Here we just have the building elevations of the existing structures. Moving on to slide number 10. And here we go into the key points of the project. The proposed project will be utilizing existing buildings for storage, worship, and residence. Additional landscaping, statues, and paved parking are proposed. The normal hours of operation of the temple will be Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in the summer, and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the winter. Regular service will be held every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. to 2 p.m., which is estimated to have 10 to 25 attendees. There will be 3 annual special events that will attract visitors to the site in greater numbers. 2 of these annual events are expected to bring 40 to 50 people, and one of these events is expected to bring upwards of 100 visitors. Although these numbers may exceed the supplied number of parking spaces, the applicant team had explained that visitors will be scattered throughout the day, which would distribute the demand in parking. What visitors will typically do is that they make brief stops at multiple temples throughout the county during these special holidays. Because these are all-day annual events, we do have a slight modification in the hours of operation. As you'll see in the conditions of approval, the hours for the special events can range from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. As well as there will be public transportation conveniently available at the site, as there is a bus stop approximately 120 feet away. Moving on to, the South Sacramento Community Planning Advisory Council met on June 20th, 2018, and recommended approval of the project. The Design Review Advisory Committee met on February 14, 2019, and recommended the project be found in compliance with the countywide design guidelines. Moving on to slide number 11. Staff analysis found the project to be consistent with the general plan, community plan, and that the project meets the necessary findings for the requested entitlements. Therefore, staff is recommending approval of the project and that the ZA take the following actions. Recognize the exempt status of the request under Section 15301, Class 1 of the California Environmental Quality Act. Approve the use permit, special development permit, and minor use permit subject to the findings and conditions listed in Attachment 2. And finally, find the project in substantial compliance with the countywide design guidelines subject to the findings and conditions listed in Attachment 2. And that concludes my presentations. Please let me know if there are any questions.
Thank you, Bilek. Can we leave this slide up? So this is Jessica. I did receive 2 public comments on this project. I just wanted to run through those before we move to the applicant. The first public comment is in support, and they actually do specifically reference the special development permit for the 10-foot wall, and they are in support of that. And then the second comment is not necessarily opposed, but it does bring up some concerns regarding traffic impacts, potential buses that may block power in road. I do want to note that in relation to this public comment, the applicant has proposed a long drive that goes around the property that should be sufficient for a regular-sized tour bus to come in and actually be on the property as opposed to parking off of the property. So hopefully that will help alleviate the concerns in the second public comment, which did come in late yesterday. And the applicant's welcome to talk about that further if they would like. So at this point, that was the public comment I did receive on this item. I will unmute the applicant, and I believe Brian Holloway, you're the applicant for this project?
Yes, I'm the applicant representing the temple. First of all, thank you, Bilek. Good staff report, and thank you for working to get this long-standing project to a hearing. Really appreciate that. Also, I wanted to say thank you to Pete Kokinas. I know he's not on the call, but Pete worked with us to resolve the 2 driveway issue down to a single driveway that would allow for safe access to the Bajer Street Power In Road. We do have any future gate is set back so that as vehicles would pull in, if there is a gate, there's plenty of standing room without blocking the street. And this new single driveway also conforms to the proposed widening that the county is doing for Power In Road. So we had to juggle all those things to happen, and Pete was instrumental in helping us get to that conclusion. We have read the conditions of approval, and we agree with all of them, and are looking forward to your deliberations.
Okay, thank you, Brian. I did review the project, and I appreciated Balek's thorough staff report. I think it touched on a lot of the concerns I had related to some of the special development permit requests. Especially barbed wire is something that I'm not too keen on allowing in residential areas, but I do understand that this is something that the applicant feels is needed for safety of the facility, and that it will be placed in a manner that is not visually intrusive to the neighboring properties. And that I've also, especially from the public comment in hearing from the CPAC, that the applicants have been good neighbors, and that they are seen as a benefit to the area. And so the project and the way in which it has been developed and that they need to move forward with, it seems appropriate to approve. So with those notes, I am recognizing the exempt status of the request under Section 15301, Class 1 of the California Environmental Quality Act. I am approving the use permit, special development permit in whole, and minor use permit, subject to the findings and conditions listed in Attachment 2 of the staff report. And I am finding the project in substantial compliance with the countywide design guidelines, subject again to the findings and conditions as appropriate listed in Attachment 2. That is item 3, and I believe we do have the applicant on for item 2. Let's see here, let me unmute you.
Thank you.
Chris Trapp,
Hello.
Are you there? Hello.
I is. Hello.
All right. Okay, so I believe that Nishant Sioni will be presenting this, and so I'm going to go ahead and mute you again until after his presentation. But I'm glad you made it.
Item 2 is PLNP 2019-00053 for accessory dwelling unit. Request is for a special development permit. Applicant is Chris Trapp.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nishant Sioni. As Stephanie said, this is the OR Accessory Dwelling Special Development Permit project. If we can move forward to the first slide. So the project is located at 9770 Orr Road in the Southeast Area Community. The request is for a special development permit to allow a 1,188 square foot ADU with a 162 square foot porch. This will exceed the maximum allowable habitable square footage of 1,000 square feet and will be on a 5-acre parcel in the AR5 zoning district. Moving forward to slide number 3. This is an aerial view of the site. This is based on county GIS aerial footage or photography that we have. This is not the most up-to-date view of the site. Currently, there is a primary home that is developed on the site and a driveway that is used to access that home and will be used to access the ADU as well. This will be reflected on the site plan, which we'll get into in a second. Next slide, please. So this is the site plan. You can see in the southeast corner or quadrant of the project site, there's an existing home as well as septic and well. The ADU will be located a little bit to the southwest of this site or of this home, and will share access from the same driveway. Let's go forward to the next slide. ADU is going to be a 2-bedroom, 2-bath ADU, again with a porch outside and no attached garage. Parking will be provided on that private drive that you saw in the previous exhibit. Next slide, please. So as I said, the ADU will be accessed via that existing private driveway and have that 162 square foot outdoor porch. That private driveway was constructed after issuance and approval of an encroachment permit. There are oak trees along the northern border of the property, and construction of that driveway did result in the removal of those. No new roadway improvements or removal of trees will occur as a result of the project. The only construction that's going to occur is of the home itself. The Southeast Community Planning Advisory Council met on May 23rd, 2019, and recommended unanimous approval of the project. We'll move forward to the next slide. And staff has found that the project is able to meet all necessary findings for a special development permit, including for specific ADU deviation findings, and we are recommending approval of the project.
Okay, thank you, Nishant. Don't believe we've received any public comment. Stephanie, has anything come through? Okay. So at this time, go to Chris. Chris, do you have any questions or concerns with the conditions as presented for this project?
No, not at this time. It's been an adventure getting here. Hope everybody enjoyed the ride. We were here a while, but I'm very happy with everything that has been accommodated and brought forward, and look forward to the next one as well.
Great. So I don't have any concerns with this application. I think it fits well with the neighborhood. It's sized right. It'll be a good addition to this property. So at this point, I am recognizing the exempt status of the request under Section 15303, Class 3 of the California Environmental Quality Act. I am approving the special development permit pursuant, which is attachment 3 of the staff report, subject to the findings and conditions listed in attachment 2 of the staff report. So at this time, that is all of our hearing items. Again, there are 10-day appeal periods for both of the actions taken here. The approvals will become final after that period has lapsed unless an appeal is filed. The time is now 9:50. Before I adjourn, the next zoning administrator meeting is scheduled for May 6th, 2020. Anything else I need to put in the record? 4, 5, and 6. We have more items. Sorry. Hang tight. We have more items. Oh, yes. Back page. I apologize. Okay, rolling back a little bit. We do have 3 more items. We have number 4.
Item 4 is a staff update, if any.
Do any of the staff that are on the presenter list, I will unmute, have any updates? Does anyone wish to share any updates? Try that again.
So this is Chris Mahooly. We do not have a staff update at this point.
Thank you.
Item 5 is zoning officer comments.
I have no comments.
Item 6 is public comment.
And do we have any general public comment submitted? Okay. Okay. Now, at this time, 9:52 a.m., I am calling this meeting adjourned. Thank you.